Baruchim Haba, and welcome everyone to a special edition of All Parsha on Parshas Toldos, the Chasam Sofer on Parshas Toldos. Very excited to share with you an amazing insight of the Chasam Sofer into Yaakov Avinu's purchase of the birthright. We know that Yaakov Avinu purchased the birthright for a pot of beans. Esav came in from the field famished, and he was v'hu ayef. He says to Yaakov, Haliteni na min ha'adam hazaki ayef anoichi. Feed me, pour me from this red stew, these red lentils. Rashi points out that the reason why Yaakov was cooking red lentils was because this was the day that Avraham Avinu passed away, and it's the minhag to cook a round object to indicate, to signify that this world is a gagal hachozer, people pass on, people are born, and therefore Yaakov Avinu was cooking these lentils. It was a sudas havra'ah, the first meal that is fed to the avelim, in this case Yitzchak. It was the first meal that was being fed. Says Chasam Sofer in Torah's Moshe. This was not a coincidence that at that moment Avraham Avinu passed away and Yaakov was preparing the sudas havra'ah, because let's study for a moment what was taking place. Yaakov Avinu needed to purchase the birthright for a pot of beans. Now, typically, Yaakov Avinu was samach al shulchan aviv. He was reliant on his father's table. He wasn't independent. Someone who eats off his father's table does not own his parents' food. The food belongs to his parent, even if he is going to be eating it. The parent allows him to eat it, but the parent owns it. So how could Yaakov Avinu use this pot of beans to purchase the birthright? Yaakov Avinu doesn't own the pot of beans. In fact, Yaakov Avinu never owned food in his entire life. Says Chasam Sofer, Hashgacha had it, that on this occasion, when Yaakov Avinu had to own the food in order to use it to purchase the birthright, this was the one time in Yaakov Avinu's life he indeed did own the food. Because this is a sudas havra'ah. And a sudas havra'ah must come mishal acherim. The sudas havra'ah has to come from someone else's possession. Therefore, Yitzchak, says Chasam Sofer, must have given Yaakov, must have transacted to Yaakov Avinu. He was makneh to him these beans in a way that Yitzchak doesn't retain any ownership of, so Yaakov could own it. So, in order for Yaakov to be able to fulfill the mitzvah of sudas havra'ah and give to Yitzchak mishal acherim. At that very moment, Hashem arranged, okay, Yaakov, you own something, now's your opportunity to buy the birthright. And just then, Esav came in, and Yaakov used the lentils that Yitzchak gave him in order for him to be Mekayim Sudas Havra'ah Mishal Acherim. He used it to purchase the birthright. Perhaps we could add a Remes to this extra special Hashgacha Pratis that was happening at this time. I was always struck by the 5 words in a row in the pasuk that begin with Vav Yud. We have Vayoicha, Vayesht, Vayakam, Vayelach, Vayivez. 5 words that begin with Vav in a row. And reminded me of the 15 words that begin with Vav in a row after Kriya Shema Shel Shachris, V'yatziv, V'nachayin, V'kayim, V'yashar, V'neman. And very interestingly, the Mishnah Berurah in Hilchos Kriya Shema brings that these 15 Vavs in a row have great significance. You see, when we say Shema, we're supposed to say 248 words corresponding to the 248 limbs of man. The only thing is, Kriya Shema has 245 words. So how do we complete, how are we mashlim the additional 3 words? Says the Zohar HaKadosh, these 15 Vavs, Vav times 15, 6 times 15 is 90. You see, Hashem's name is Havaya, Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is 26, plus the 4 letters makes it 30. So 90, the 15 Vavs, is actually 3 Shem Havayas. 90 is 30 times 3. 30 is God's name, 26 plus the 4 letters. So the 90, signified by the 15 Vavs, represents 3 names of God. And these 3 names of God make it from 245 words in Shema to 248, keneged the limbs of a person. So we could say perhaps, the reason why we have 5 Vavs in a row here Vayoicha, Vayisht, Vayakam, Vayilach, Vayivez is to indicate 5 Vavs is 30, the name of Hashem, Shem Havaya, plus the 4 letters, to indicate there was a special presence of the name of Hashem to orchestrate that Dafka at this moment. Yitzchak had given Yaakov this food and he was makneh it to him so that Yaakov could be Mekayim in the midst of Sudas Havra. He owns the food, just as Esav walks in, and through this presence of Hashem's name, Hashem's Hashgacha Pratis, Yaakov was able to buy the birthright. Wishing everyone a wonderful day and a wonderful Shabbos. Haba Aleinu Lataiva.